Hello and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. In this set of videos we are talking about the CSPA, or the Child Status Protection Act. Now, in the prior video I went through the formula that needs to be used in order to determine whether a child has aged out for purposes of the CSPA. And again, that's generally when the petitioner is a lawful permanent resident, or you have an employment-based petition or a diversity petition. Essentially anything other than when the petitioner is a U.S. citizen. And I'd like to just give an example in this particular video so it becomes a little clearer under the rules that were previously discussed. Now, first, again, you have to determine the age of the child when the immigrant visa became available or on the approval date. So let's say that the age of the child when the immigrant visa became available or on the approval date was, let's say, 22 years old. Okay, or yeah, let's just say 22 years old. Obviously, on that date, just initially, without applying any other CSPA analysis, the child has aged out. Okay, but at least that gives you the starting point. So it became available when the child was 22 years old, just for example purposes. Next, you have to reduce that number by the days the I-130, the I-140, the I-360, or the I-526, all different types of petitions, had been pending. Well, let's say that you look back and you see that the I-130, let's just say it was an I-130 petition, let's say that had been pending for 15 months. Okay, you filed it on day one and you didn't get the approval until 15 months later. Well, you can then take that 22 years of age and you subtract 15 months. So essentially what happens is then that age, you subtract 12 months, that becomes 21, and then another 3 months. So basically the age is then 20 years. So now what you've done is you've turned a 22-year-old into a 20-year-old, and because that age is under 21, you now have essentially an immediate relative. Now, the third part of this is that once you have determined that, then the child at that point must, quote, seek to acquire, which we'll talk more what that means later, but must seek to acquire LPR status within 1 year of that particular date. And so therefore, once you have all three of those items, the CSPA will apply and you can go forward. So definitely you have to figure out the date that the child of the CSPA age, and then you have to seek to acquire the status within 1 year. It doesn't mean you have to acquire it, but you have to seek to acquire it. Okay, more on the coming videos.